Hey there, YouTube world. My name is Matt Schwartz. I'm the Welding Geek, and welcome to the next chapter in my budget Mando build. On this video, we're going to cover damaging, painting, and weathering my Mando build, and it's going to end up looking like this. So if you want to see how I went about getting this accomplished, stay tuned in the video. Alright, it's time to get creative. So what I'm going to do first is add battle damage to my armor. I'm going to do this, I've never really, like I've said, haven't worked with sinter before. So I'm going to try a soldering iron. Over here, I've got my propane torch and a couple bolts. And I'm going to attempt to put in some bolt strikes, scratches, and stuff like that that we can highlight when we do the painting. So I'm going to put in some, not a whole ton of damage, just a couple of dings and bops and scratches here and there, and then we'll get everything primed and start painting and doing all the cool fun stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is put in the battle damage with my stuff. I'm going to change my camera angle here so you guys can kind of see what's going on, and I'm just going to kind of wing this, so wish me luck. Alright, so I'm just going to guess on this kind of stuff. I've got this eye bolt here. I think I can come in here and kind of put a big blaster strike and a bolt. And yeah, I'm literally just going to wing this. Hopefully this will come out. Start with something cool here. Alright, so this little eye bolt thing actually worked pretty well. Gave me some pretty decent dents. Gotta get it pretty hot, and then I kind of flatten it out with my finger. Just gotta be careful not to burn yourself. My favorite tool for doing this by far was this soldering iron. So you can go in there and just draw everything in using the edge of it. It will burn it, so you kind of have to wipe it off a little bit too. But man, I really enjoyed this soldering iron. And some of the other stuff looks okay, right? I'm gonna go back in here a little bit and hit it more here later, but yeah, you'll see as I go through these, I really start using the soldering iron the best. But that little eye bolt did work pretty well too. Alright, before we get priming, I'm going to actually use some aluminum colored white lightning silicone to fill in these cracks of the shoulder bell. I'm using the aluminum color because I'm going to do like a gray primer and then aluminum color undercoat so we can toothpaste some of this stuff and have some metal showing through. So I'm going to use this this aluminum colored silicone just to fill these cracks in real quick. Alright, we are going to let that set up, and then we're going to prime all these things. Just fill in the cracks so you can't really, so it makes it look more like one piece. Alright, priming next. For priming, what I'm going to use is just some filler primer, some gray filler primer. I'm using this just to kind of fill in some of the sanding marks. So I'm going to go ahead, this is going to be the first coat in our paint job, filler primer. Gonna do both the front and the back, even though like some of the stuff I've got paper. I'm just gonna hit the back so it all blends in together. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time to take that off because nobody's ever gonna see it, but I still want it all the same color. So, first coat, filler primer. Let's do it. Okay, I got everything primed. I went ahead and hit this little setter notch with some black spray paint, and right now what I'm gonna do is make a little template or a mask put on the center because I want my little center strip to be black. So I'm just gonna lay out a piece of masking tape, get it cut out with the razor blade, and put that in right there. And then after that, I'm going to spray this all with this metallic, silver metallic spray paint as the first coat. And then we'll go in and put in some toothpaste reliefs on our battle damage. That way when we wipe this off, it's gonna show through as silver metallic and look all metal and cool. So that's the theory anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my little mask, and then I'll get all this stuff painted. Man, that thing doesn't focus anymore, does it? Hello, McFly. Alright, I got my little center mask done, and I'm going to paint this all these pieces of silver metallic. Because even though I don't have any battle damage on here, I'm still going to hit it in spots where I think I want little paint chips and whatnot. So, next coat, silver metallic. Alright, next up on the docket. So I kind of finally figured out kind of the direction paint-wise I'm going to go. It's not going to be exactly this, but I saw this in the Art Of book. And I really like the stripes, like the Death Watch. I'm gonna go actually in the Oasis blue that we used on the helmet so I can match the helmet. But I was just kind of up here and was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna direct my kit like this. Just with the 3 stripes and that, and try to make it look similar to that right there. So just FYI, that's kind of the direction we're going here. So the next thing we get to do, now that we're all silvery and pretty, is cover this all up. So the next step is I grab toothpaste. Now they make stuff called masking fluid that you can find. I just think this is way cheaper, and I've got a ton of this. The only problem with this, it seems like you can't get a fine line if you want to scratch, or it seems like this stuff kind of makes more bubbly chips than nice fine lines. So that's the only problem with toothpaste. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this wherever I don't want paint to stick, which are gonna be in the dents and the dings and some random chips. And I just put it on with a Q-tip. Sorry, I'm going brain dead here. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this, and then I'm actually gonna put a layer of this gray on to add an extra layer. So we'll put toothpaste on, we'll paint it, we'll add more toothpaste around the gray, and then we'll paint on the Oasis, what is this? Oasis blue. This will be our final color. And then we're gonna start, we'll add the white stripes, we'll add then in more weathering and more acrylic paint stuff, and it's gonna really, I think this is gonna turn out pretty sweet. So let's put the toothpaste on. Alright, the last thing I need to do is I just remembered that I want my center thing to be silver, and I have this. So I'm going to make a little screen or a little thing out of the masking tape. And so I'm just using this as a surface that tape doesn't stick to. Took me a minute to get that in there, but let's hit this with the gray, and then we'll go on from there. We'll add a little more toothpaste to have like those little gray shadows and everything, and we'll hit it with the Oasis blue, and then we'll start really making these things look cool. All right, got my gray on. Next thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit more toothpaste around these edges just to give this gray haze, and maybe a couple little ticks around on everything. And then we are going to go to the Satin Oasis Blue to finish this thing off. Well, not really finish it off, but the final layer. I'll probably do 2 coats of this just to make it extra thick, and yeah, we will go on from there. We'll come back and we'll unmask everything, rinse everything off. Then we'll probably do some dry brush like black and red in the things and do a bunch of weathering techniques on it. So we're getting closer, just bit by bit. So I'm gonna get this stuff masked off with the toothpaste like I just showed you and get it painted, and then we'll be back. All right, so this is kind of how I did the second layer of toothpaste, just back over top of all my other things, just to give it a little bit of a gray haze on the outside, like it hit and then started chipping paint and chipping paint and chipping paint. So, all right, time for the blue coat. I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and get this stuff all the toothpaste washed off and take off these maskings. Let's do that. All right, our paint is all dry. Now I went ahead, just as an FYI, I had a can of this Nantucket blue, just a little deeper blue, and I barely misted it over this. I don't know if you can see it or not. And this is more or less, from the naked eye, makes it look slightly dirty. Now we're gonna make this a lot more dirty, but this just gives the paint an extra shadow almost. You don't have to do this. I just had it and I wanted to try it. And I really like the way it looks like there's a little bit of dirt on there, and it deepens up the color a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is peel this off right now, and then I'm gonna go to my sink and rinse off all this other paint stuff, and we'll see what it looks like. And then we'll dive into detailing all these things out. So let me see if I can actually get this off without peeling off all the paint. Now I want you to pay attention to how plasticky and clean this still looks, because what we're about to do to this is going to change it from looking like a toy to looking like real metal. But that's the mask. I'm really happy with that center section, especially in the camera. I bet you this looks really good. It still looks spray painty from the naked eye right here, but when we go in and we add in grit to the corners with some dry brushing and black washing and all that stuff, it's really gonna make this look like it's real steel. So I'm gonna go ahead, get these rinsed off, and I'll be back. All right, so I almost forgot something really important. It's the white stripes. I'll go on this side, the white stripes I want to put on the side of the chest plate, and this thigh plate, and this shoulder belt, and I need to do that before I rinse off all my stuff. Here's kind of what it will look like after you rinse it off, just FYI. But yeah, I need to, let's see the dent, ding, pretty sweet. But before I do it on the main piece here, I want to tape off these white stripes here. Now that I've kind of shown you how I went about doing that, I got big masking tape. You could take a bunch of masking tape and just go over the top of it and then draw it out and cut it out. I'm gonna kind of transfer these lines onto these plates here and get them painted white, and then we'll get the actual toothpaste and all that stuff wiped off this other pieces and get to really doing the detail work. So that's what I'm gonna do next. All right, that and more better. Anyway, this is where we're at. I got all the toothpaste zones kind of wiped off here, grunged out, and got my white stripes on, all weathered and worn. That's like from the toothpaste. So this still looks fresh and new though, even though it's kind of beat up. So what we're gonna do, the first step of the detail painting, is I mixed up about a quarter size of black acrylic paint and about that much water. And I'm gonna mix this up real good, and I'm gonna coat all my plates with it. And this is what we call a black wash. It's just gonna leave like a layer of grime over the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Black wash everything. I'm gonna let the black wash kind of settle in all my cracks and kind of dab it with some paper towels. And then after that, we're gonna actually take some black acrylic paint with a brush, like a soft brush like this, and dab in some more black, wipe it away, more black. And then we're also gonna do the burnt umber as like, this is like a good rust color. And I'm gonna do that kind of in my blaster bolts and in other places. And wipe it kind of the same, I think they call it dry brush style. And then I may go in and I have this transparent sand color that I may get in some places. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this yet or not, but I might. So the next step is watered down acrylic paint. I'm gonna use a foam brush like so and get it over the entire surface, kind of let it settle and go in afterwards and kind of wipe it down for a little bit. So that's the next step I'm gonna do. All right, we have the black wash dried. I'm just gonna pull this up here. And you can really see how it's starting to change the look of this, making it look like it's used in Star Warsy and grungy, right? So the last little step that I wanna do is I'm gonna go in here with the black, like I said, the black acrylic paint and this burnt umber color and give it some deeper blacks, especially around in these cracks and in my bullet and scars in my plates. I'll probably do it on this one, that one. I think I've got, yeah, a ding on there. And I'm just gonna kind of concentrate on the dings and the battle damage for that. Because like I said, this burnt umber gives it a kind of a rusty look. And I really kind of like the way that looks because it really makes this look more steel-like. So I'm gonna go ahead and, so the process is I'm gonna put paint on this plate here. I got this fluffy brush and we're gonna put the paint on the brush, get it in there, and then kind of wipe it until there's just a little bit left in there. And we'll do that with the burnt umber and the black. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Next layer, I think I'm still gonna do a like black, doing that with the black down in these cracks here. But you can really start to tell you just want a little bit of that brown in there because it really makes it. And I did it on all my little silver spots because it gives it a kind of a sheen that looks more like metal. It's hard to explain, and you can see the overdraft of it, which makes it look like it's kind of. I hit that center section to make it look more metallic, because if it's got a little hint of rust in there, it looks like steel. So that's the purpose of that. So I'm gonna do that to the rest of my things here, and then I'm gonna get the camera back on and we'll do the black. And after the black, I think we're gonna call it good. But really liking how this is turning out. These little steps make a huge difference in making your kit look realistic. The black wash, a little bit of brown, and then like the deep dark blacks that we're gonna get in here, they're really gonna set your kits apart. So these are important steps. All right, let's take a look at what the brown looks like when we get it on here. I already kind of showed you that on here, but I just wanted to go through the rest of these. It really makes a big difference. Really like, I kind of was hitting the edges too and just wiping it off, leaving kind of a hazy brown. It really makes these look really good. I'm really happy. Shoulder bell. Butt plate. And this is where I kind of hit kind of these edges with the brown. I really like the way that looks. The back. And the other shoulder bell. So you don't have to go as drastic as I did with the weathering, but I like, especially for pictures and stuff, the more weathering, the better your kit looks. Even if like up close, it looks like you went crazy. Like you're probably not even getting the full depth of this weathering job on the camera. But when you start adding these layers in, man, it really does make a big difference. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna do, like I said, was a black. I may actually only do that on the chest plate here to get in these cracks, because I feel like this one's, like these cracks are already pretty dark. So I don't think I'm gonna need to do that on these ones, but I really do wanna get in here and get a nice solid black edge. It will kind of separate all these plates too and get down in this crack. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, hopefully you can kind of see the change. It's a slight change, but I really wanted to hit all these edges and fill them full of the black so it makes each panel pop. And I hope you can see kind of what I mean. Other than that, I think our paint and weathering is done. Now, I am going to add an addition onto this paint video. I've got one of the gauntlets done that I've been the videos I've been doing at the same time, kind of while paint's drying. I've been making the gauntlets, and I've almost got one of them done. So I'm gonna get that gauntlet to this point, and then we'll kind of dress it up too and make it look cool. Because the gauntlet video will be after this, and I want that gauntlet to be done for that video, painted and all. So yeah, I'm really stoked about how this is looking. So get that gauntlet done, and then we'll kind of paint it, and that will be the end of the video. All right, friends, we're coming down to the wire here. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mask some stuff off on these gauntlets and get them painted. I'm leaving my right arm flush and nice and flat. I'm gonna put 3 white stripes on this gauntlet to match the 3 white stripes on my right hand side. So everything on my right hand side will have 3 white stripes, which I think will be pretty cool. On my left hand gauntlet here that I got all kind of decked out, still simple, there's this little rectangle here. I'm gonna do a white stripe here, and this top little box section I'm gonna mask off and do that white. And then I may paint in some of these buttons on here with black. I think I'm gonna do that with the paintbrush. And then I'm not gonna do dings and dents in these. I'm gonna keep them relatively straight, but I'm going to black wash them, do the little brown brushing and do all that kind of stuff to make them dirty to match the rest of my stuff. So I'm gonna get these masked off and get them painted with the rattle can white that I have somewhere around here. I've got a big mess everywhere, just keeping it going. So yeah, mask it off, hit the white parts that I want white, and then we'll do the black washing and do all the dirty stuff. And that will be it for this video, I think. So let's get rolling. All right, this is where we're at. I got my white stripe on there, the white right there, and then I've got my white stripes on here. Now I just glued up these, my hinges and all that, and you'll see how I do that, you'll see how I do this after this video, because I'm gonna post the paint video before the gauntlet video. So I'm gonna set this off to the side to let that dry for now, and we will do, that was almost bad, all the black wash and painting. First thing I'm gonna do here is go in with just a small paintbrush here, and I'm gonna try to color in some of these buttons with the black acrylic. Let that dry, and then I'm gonna go over it with the black wash and then the little brown dry brushing and see what it looks like. So that's what I'm gonna do right now.
on here. Now I'm gonna black wash this. Alright, I got my black wash on here, but it literally washed off all my buttons, so I just painted. So we'll be doing that last. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is just gonna do the brown, where is it here? The burnt umber color on here and a couple cracks, just to get it. There's more layers of grime and dirt on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, got my little dots painted back on there. Got my brown on here. And looking nice and dirty. So I think that is going to be it for this armor build. Obviously I'm going to have to go ahead and weather this one out too. But I got to wait for this glue to set up on this stuff here. And we are done. What do you guys think of that? Man, I couldn't be more happy with how this is coming out, honestly. I knew there are fantastic Sintra builds out there, but I didn't know I was capable of making one. When I jumped in this budget build, I was unsure, and now as we're getting through this paint, I'm really stoked with how this is coming out. Like I said, I don't have very much experience with Sintra, and so just be using the stuff that I've learned doing my metal stuff, it applies over here. So I am super stoked. I think I'm gonna have another beautiful kit when I'm done. So we're gonna keep on going. So yeah, I hope that video was informative. I hope you learned some stuff. You know, after I posted that last video of doing the Sintra armor build, I had one of my buddies from the Mercs reach out to me. We don't live close. He's over on the West Coast, I think in Washington, and I really only met him at Celebration, and he was just reaching out to me to encourage me, saying, hey man, your videos are great, thanks for doing what you're doing, getting all this information out, because he's part of the Mercs, the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club, and he kind of does some of the same thing. And in the middle of that conversation, I'm like, I'm doing the painting video next, it's awesome. He's like, oh, you are here. I made a video, I'm not sure how long ago, a year ago or so. Check this out and you can get some tips and stuff like that. But I was already almost all the way through my paint build, and so, but I went and checked it out. So I want you guys to go check that video out too, because there are some amazing tips in that video that I didn't know, that I wish I knew tackling this. So I'm gonna try to get that link. I don't know how YouTube does it, if I can actually link directly to that video, or maybe I'll just post it up, the name of it, or maybe I can put it at the end. So be looking for that link or the name if you're going to be jumping into painting Sintra. There are a lot of great tips and tricks in that video, so make sure you check that one out too before you jump into painting your stuff. But I mean, I think my painting job, super solid. But there are some cool tricks I wish I would have known in that too. And we're already through it, so I'm not going to go back and do it. So you go check out his video if you want to see those. And it's actually for their clan. They're doing a bunch of learning videos for the clan and just helping other people build Mandos. And that's Gurrit Clan, and I got it up on my TV over here. Basic Armor and Painting Building Basics with Gurrit Clan. And his name is Josh Cruz. He's an awesome guy, and he does beautiful work. So I'm going to link that video now that I know it's there, because it's a great resource. Anyway, that is it for my video. If you want to help support my channel, you can head it over to Patreon, and I'll link that in the description and all that. And at my Patreon, you will find a $5 tier that has access to all my templates. All the templates for this build, for my Mando or my Dinjarin build, generic Mando templates, the Armorer's helmet, Bo-Katan's helmet, all sorts of stuff. If you go through my library of videos, you see a build video, those templates are available there for Patreon. It's just a way that I'm trying to support my channel so I can keep on building and keep on putting out content that I'm hoping you guys are enjoying. And that's the way I can do it. The other way you can support me is subscribing to my channel like everybody asks for, liking my videos and comments. Gets the algorithm working for me to get my videos out to more people, and the more I grow, the cooler stuff I can build. So if you want to see me build some cool stuff, because when you're building with metal, I know I'm doing a budget build now, but my main stuff is metal, it gets really expensive. So you can help me build cooler stuff if you want. Anyway, what else do I got on here? The next build I think will be the gauntlets, right? This will be just a quick video on how I made these. This is all set up now. But the painting was here, you already saw that, but you'll see how I actually formed and shaped these to a degree. And then after the gauntlet video, I'm gonna tackle my vest. And I'll probably keep the vest on its own video because that will be a pretty long process. And then we'll go into some of the, like the flight suit. I bought a one-piece flight suit. I'm gonna show you what you need to do to get it within spec, I guess, if you're going for the Mando Mercs. And we'll see, I got leather parts to make. I got some boot modifications to make. I've got to attach all the armor, and I still have to build my knees. I haven't built them yet because I haven't quite, I'm trying to figure out a budget-friendly way of making the knees. I want to make them out of Sintra, but Sintra's not the best thing for on your knee if you actually want it. Now, if you're not going to kneel down, it's probably going to be fine, but I want to make sure that knee joint is a pretty stressful joint for that type of material, so I'm trying to think through and figure out a way to make good, strong knees. So that might be a video too, and we'll just keep on building. Now you can see here, here's the helmet. We already did this build months ago now. If you want to see the paint, this is a Black Series helmet that my brother and I, mostly my brother, painted, and that's why I'm kind of directing this armor towards that Death Watch. But this video will be available too. And I actually might go in and do some more details with this helmet. So that's kind of what the direction I'm heading. It'll be the budget build here for a while, and then I'm gonna have to figure out what my next project will be after this. I have a really cool concept that I'm wanting to do. Not sure if I'm gonna do it yet or not, but yeah, only time will tell. But anyway, yeah, my name's Matt Schwartz. I'm the Welding Geek. Oh, I forgot. This is hard to do. I think I'm gonna try to do a walkthrough on how to get, on this video, on how to get to the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club website and how to navigate to get your costume requirements, so you can look on your costume requirements, and also where you can find your clan members, because, and there are other resources at the Mando Mercs too. Now I understand not everybody is wanting to become part of the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club, this video is not affiliated with them. I'm just a member, so I always like to plug the group because it's such a great time and there's so many great people. So if I can make the group grow with my videos, I'd like to do that. So I thought it'd be cool just to do a quick going through the forum, showing you guys exactly where those are, because it can be hard to navigate sometimes, and just show you the costume requirements so you're pointing your kit in the right direction, and then you can get those resources that are available there to be able to build a kit so you can be part of it, because the only requirement to become a member is getting a costume put together and directing it towards that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to figure that out on my computer where I can click through and show exactly where to go for the costume requirements list, how to find your clan, and some of the resources that are available on there. So I hope that'll be fun. I'm gonna clip that here after my intro or outro, just at the end of the video. So those who aren't interested in that, or just building a Mando to build a Mando, which is cool too, you can skip on to the next video. So yeah, I think that's it. My name is Matt Schwartz. I'm the Welda Geek. Thanks for watching, and here's for more.
All right, here we go. So you look up right here where my cursor is, the Mandalorianmercs.org. That is where you're going to want to go for the website. The next where you're going to want to go, if you would like the easiest, quickest way to find the CRL, is to come right here to the Get Involved tab and go down to Costume Requirements. Now when you click on this, it's going to show you all the stuff here. Now as you can see, there are 5 different armor sets that you can build towards. You have Early Crusader, Neo Crusader. The most common form right now will be Modern, and I can see the post-Imperial starting to become more and more popular as we go on here. So you'll click one of these tabs, and then it breaks it down by the part of the armor that it wants to explain more or less, and these are all your key tabs that your helmet has to align with in order to be an approvable piece of your armor. And it'll break down into armor, gauntlet, soft parts, weapons. So this is where you're going to find all your information on the requirements for your costume. The next thing we're going to check out here is the forum tab. If you hit the forum tab, it's not going to look like this exactly until you register your name and sign in. And then you're going to actually have ads until you're an official member. So you're going to want to sign in order to get some of this other information. But as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. Now, if you want to find your clan, the easiest way would probably be to hit the Find Your Clan tab. I think you just put in your area code or whatever, or zip code, and it will kind of show you. But I'm going to show you the other way. Is if you scroll all the way down, almost to the bottom, you'll find Clan and Stronghold regions, and you'll have all the different regions, and it breaks it down pretty well. As you can see here, I'm in the USA, so I'll click USA, and then you find what part of the USA you're in, or Canada. And then you click on one, and it breaks it down. As you can see here, here's West Virginia's clan, here's Kentucky's clan, there's Delaware's clan, there's New York's clan, New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Anyway, I think you get the point. This is honestly probably going to be your best resource for building your kit towards the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club, is the people that are around your area. And these people, if they're official members, they're going to be super excited to help you get your kit put together. So this is your biggest, best resource on the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club. The club is full of great, great people, so make sure you take advantage of that. The next thing I wanted to show you here is this little Jod Halls of Knowledge. And this is a bunch of tutorials, other than the Welding Geek, obviously. Anyway, you can go to tutorials, and this is going to be another breakdown of information to use to help build your kit. And there's a plethora of stuff on here from, as you can see, Flak Vest, which we're going to be doing next, Nerf conversions, all sorts of crazy stuff to help you get your costume headed in the right way. This is a great resource as well. And all right, I hope this is informative for you guys. We'll kind of head back into the forums here. As I said, it won't look like this until you register and get your account. There is some of this stuff on here if you don't register, but it's really limited. But when you register, you'll get a lot of this stuff. And then when you become a member, you get even more stuff to get access to. But there's stuff like the brigades up there, which is really specific, guiding your kit towards a specific reason. But there's all sorts of cool stuff on here, so make sure you head over and check it out, get registered, and find your people.